Pithy sentences are like sharp nails which force truth upon our memory. There are three principal means of acquiring knowledge: observation of nature, reflection, and experimentation. Observation collects facts, reflection combines them, experimentation verifies the result of that combination. Only passions, great passions, can elevate the soul to great things. We swallow greedily any lie that flatters us, but we sip only little by little at a truth we find bitter. Power acquired by violence is only a usurpation, and lasts only as long as the force of him who commands prevails over that of those who obey. Gratitude is a burden, and every burden is made to be shaken off. Every man has his dignity. I'm willing to forget mine, but at my own discretion, and not when someone else tells me to. Patriotism is an ephemeral motive that scarcely ever outlasts the particular threat to society that aroused it. Our observation of nature must be diligent, our reflection profound, and our experiments exact. We rarely see these three means combined, and for this reason, creative geniuses are not common. There is no moral precept that does not have something inconvenient about it. It is said that desire is a product of the will, but the converse is in fact true. Will is a product of desire. We are all instruments endowed with feeling and memory. Our senses are so many strings that are struck by surrounding objects, and that also frequently strike themselves. Watch out for the fellow who talks about putting things in order. Putting things in order always means getting other people under your control. The infant runs toward it with its eyes closed, the adult is stationary, the old man approaches it with his back turned. One declaims endlessly against the passions, one imputes all of man's suffering to them, one forgets that they are also the source of all his pleasures. If there is one realm in which it is essential to be sublime, it is in wickedness. You spit on a petty thief, but you can't deny a kind of respect for the great criminal. Genius is present in every age, but the men carrying it within them remain benumbed, unless extraordinary events occur to heat up and melt the mass, so that it flows forth. The wisest among us is very lucky never to have met the woman, be she beautiful or ugly, intelligent or stupid, who could drive him crazy enough to be fit to be put into an asylum. To say that man is a compound of strength and weakness, light and darkness, smallness and greatness, is not to indict him, it is to define him. People praise virtue, but they hate it, they run away from it. It freezes you to death, and in this world you've got to keep your feet warm. It has been said that love robs those who have it of their wit, and gives it to those who have none. The most dangerous madmen are those created by religion, and people whose aim is to disrupt society always know how to make good use of them on occasion. No man has received from nature the right to give orders to others. Freedom is a gift from heaven, and every individual of the same species has the right to enjoy it as soon as he is in enjoyment of his reason. In order to get as much fame as one's father, one has to much more able than he. What has not been examined impartially has not been well examined. Skepticism is therefore the first step towards truth. What is a monster? A being whose survival is incompatible with the existing order. Mankind have banned the divinity from their presence. They have relegated him to a sanctuary. The walls of the temple restrict his view. He does not exist outside of it. If your little savage were left to himself and be allowed to retain all his ignorance, he would in time join the infant's reasoning to the grown man's passion. He would strangle his father and sleep with his mother. Happiest are the people who give most happiness to others. Although a man may wear fine clothing, if he lives peacefully and is good, self-possessed, has faith and is pure, and if he does not hurt any living being, he is a holy man. There is only one duty, that is to be happy. Those who fear the facts will forever try to discredit the fact-finders. One may demand of me that I should seek truth, but not that I should find it. Integrity is the evidence of all civil virtues. One must be oneself very little of a philosopher not to feel that the finest privilege of our reason consists in not believing in anything by the impulsion of a blind and mechanical instinct, and that it is to dishonor reason, to put it in bonds as the Chaldeans did. Man is born to think for himself. A thing is not proved because no one has ever questioned it. Skepticism is the first step toward truth. The enjoyment of freedom which could be exercised without any motivation would be the real hallmark of a maniac. To describe women, the pen should be dipped in the humid colors of the rainbow, and the paper dried with the dust gathered from the wings of a butterfly. What a fine comedy this world would be if one did not play a part in it. There is only one virtue, justice, only one duty, to be happy, only one corollary, not to overvalue life, and not to fear death. If you disturb the colors of the rainbow is no longer beautiful. Whatever dressing one gives to mushrooms, to whatever sauces our Apiciuses put them, they are not really good, but to be sent back to the dung heap where they are born. It is not the man who is beside himself, but he who is cool and collected, who is master of his countenance, of his voice, of his actions, of his gestures, of every part of his play, who can work upon others at his pleasure. If reason be a gift of heaven, and we can say as much of faith, heaven has certainly made us two gifts not only incompatible, but in direct contradiction to each other. In order to solve the difficulty, we are compelled to say either that faith is a chimera or that reason is useless. I feel, I think, I judge. Therefore, a part of organized matter like me is capable of feeling, thinking, and judging. Instinct guides the animal better than the man. In the animal it is pure, in man it is led astray by his reason and intelligence. My friend, you should blow out your candle in order to find your way more clearly. We swallow with one gulp the lie that flatters us, and drink drop by drop the truth which is bitter to us. I like better for one to say some foolish thing upon important matters than to be silent. That becomes the subject of discussion and dispute, and the truth is discovered. Disturbances in society are never more fearful than when those who are stirring up the trouble can use the pretext of religion to mask their true designs. The world is the house of the strong. I shall not know until the end what I have lost or won in this place, in this vast gambling den, where I have spent more than 60 years, dice box in hand, shaking the dice. There is no true sovereign except the nation. There can be no true legislator except the people. The bad gives rise to the good inspires the better produces the excellent is followed by the bizarre. First of all move me, surprise me, rend my heart, make me tremble, weep, shudder, outrage me, delight my eyes afterwards if you can. I have only a small flickering light to guide me in the darkness of a thick forest. Up comes a theologian and blows it out. When we know to read our own hearts, we acquire wisdom of the hearts of others. Man was born to live with his fellow human beings. Separate him, isolate him, his character will go bad, 1,000 ridiculous effects will invade his heart, extravagant thoughts will germinate in his brain, like thorns in an uncultivated land. Doctors are always working to preserve our health and cooks to destroy it, but the latter are the more often successful. First move me, astonish me, break my heart, let me tremble, weep, stare, be enraged, only then regale my eyes.